Boys and girls, friends and families, those that are watching with us today, welcome to Chicago, Illinois. As the sun starts to set here in Chicago, the temperatures cool down. We are approaching some fantastic heated action here for the men's U19 Floorball Qualifier at Blackhawks Ice Center, presented by Fifth Third Bank. I'm Tommy Morris, along with all things floorball coach, former men's national player, Coach, I'd like to refer to you as Trent Kling. Trent, some fantastic action last night as we're getting ready to again, game 2 of this 3-series match. United States found themselves down by 1. They lost last night 9-5. Can you give a little quick recap and what you expect today quickly?
Yeah, so 9-5 was the final score, as you mentioned, but really I think the matchup came down to the second lines for each team. The Team Canada second line popped off with Tommy McQueen and Gabriel Bordage, each of whom had 2 goals in last night's game, and I think that was the difference. The U.S. team has made some changes to try and address maybe the inequity in the couple of lines and making sure that they are more possession-oriented tonight. And also we saw a lot of turnovers in the middle third, honestly for both teams, but they seem to come back to bite the Americans a bit more, and that's something that both teams wanting to address coming into this evening.
And you did mention just a slight change for Team USA.
Yeah, absolutely. They're changing their defensive alignment, so they'll start with the same 5 that they started last night, but where you see the defensive changes, you have Matthew Bertrand stepping up to the second line on defense, and he was very physical in last night's game, was a key contributor on the third line, which was a plus line for the Americans. They got a couple of goals going their way against Canada, so he's going to move to defense. And then I think we're going to see a bit more of Owen Dummeldinger tonight. He brings a ton of energy, and he's also very physical. He's big, he can weight lift quite a bit, and so they're relying on him to do some board work in the corners and maybe come out of those board battles a little bit more favorably against Canada.
And now let's go for team introductions and the starting lineups. We're going to turn it over to PA announcer Will Kernahan. And I tell you, here we go. If there's any indication after that fine performance of the national anthems and both teams, the crowd are fired up. Trent, we're looking for another exciting match, especially after game two. Game two here after game one's exciting match yesterday.
It was an exciting match yesterday, and honestly, the final score didn't do it justice. It was back and forth, really tied at 2-2. By the time we got midway through the game, Canada began to pull away, whether that was because of fatigue on the part of the Americans or whether that was because sorting things out offensively. We don't know, but ultimately, as you mentioned, because Canada got the win yesterday, this is do or die for the Americans tonight. It's a 3-game series. Tomorrow's game will be played regardless, and we encourage everyone to come out to Blackhawks Ice Center at 2 p.m. Central Time on Sunday.
And now for our starting lineups.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to our starting lineups here.
And for our starting lineups there, Trent, you did mention a couple changes. We have a change in net as the starter will be Tim Harrison now. It wasn't because of anything wrong with Winder's play yesterday, who was absolutely fantastic. It's just it's game two.
Yeah, Winder put up a .750 save percentage last night, and that runs a good 100 points above what is average in these contests. But this was kind of the plan all along, wanting to give both goalies playing time. Harrison Tan, freshly back from the 3v3 in Spain, where in his first start in a Team USA uniform, shut out Solomon Islands 9-0.
My bad, Harrison. Here we go, opening face-off here. Game two, USA-Canada, here from Blackhawks Ice Center in Chicago, Illinois. Out of play, there'll be a free hit for Team Canada. And as a free hit, of course, when a ball goes out of play, it's quickly put back in play, as you saw there, and Canada will methodically try to come out of their zone, a little crisscross in the defense, up through center. Betts back on the wing, pulled up there by Svoboda, gives it back to Betts. Betts looking around, trying to get some movement up front, still taking a look. Early moments of the first period if you're just joining us here. Canada in team red. There's Calde with it. Back over to Betts. There's a shot right on and a big stop by Tan.
And what we see is something the Americans talk quite a bit about in terms of valuing possessions. The rebound bounced out to Ollie Parent, and instead of fast breaking, which is what they were doing quite a bit last night, trying to get their transition game going, they slowed things down. They're changing on the ball now, trying to play a calmer game tonight.
An easy breakout as Stone takes a look around. Little calmer possession here for Team USA, as Coach Kling had mentioned. There's open wing, puts it back up through center. It's played back. Bad pass there. Canada puts a press on quickly. Got to hurry with it. It bounces dangerously to the side. Played off to the far boards. Knocked up in the air, up through center. Still banging around the line. Hits a couple bodies there. Team USA finally gains possession of the puck. Moves it forward. Here's a corner dump. The two players collide there. No harm, no foul. Up through the center is a quick shot by Stone. Didn't get all of it. It bounces and Boeheim takes it. Back to the point. Pass didn't get enough on it. George takes it for Team Canada. Hits a body in front. Another rebound shot. That's just over the outstretched hand to Tan and out of play. 18-18 here in the first period if you're just joining us. Early moments. Team USA in blue. Team Canada in red. Both teams trying to get a quick change on the free hit by USA.
It's the first time Owen Dummeldinger has seen the pitch in this series. We mentioned he's moving to the third defensive pairing for the Americans out there with Liam Letterman currently.
There's a quick, more of a clear it into the far corner. Still looking methodically, played back to the point. Team USA with possession. Looking to net out front. Shot right on. A big stop there. Rebound. Ball's hanging around there. Still bounces up in the air. Finally goes into corner. Two players converge on a three in the corner. Smacking around, hacking, whacking, and a free kick or a free hit for Team USA. Both teams are trying to get some changes really quick, and the refs are saying, hey, listen, you got to get out a little quicker. And
yeah, so I'll explain what happened here. You're not allowed to spot the ball before you go make a change. If you spot the ball for a free hit, you have to take it within 3 seconds. The problem there was the Americans spotted the ball, then went for a change. If they had just let the ball roll around, they could have changed and taken their time.
Gotcha. 17:36. Canada dumps it in to the right of the netminder, Tan. Back in behind a little twirl around. Plays it to the far wing. Shot fanned on that. Gathered up, and here's some numbers for Team USA. And, a late whistle. They had a break on that, and the call on that, Trent, did it hit off the top of the boards there on the white?
I think there was a stick infraction called along the far side. They were playing the advantage, which is something that happens in floorball, very similar to soccer, and so that's why the whistle was a little bit later. They were letting the play out.
Team USA tried to get up on the wing for a quick break. That's knocked down and brought back into their zone. 17:08, they got numbers 2-on-1. Shot. Right on a big stop there. The Canadian netminder's been stellar as of last game. Walker calmly just played to his defense, and Canada will start out with it.
Yeah, we mentioned about how 650 to 667 is average for goalkeepers. Walker put up a 773 in last night's game. He's a goaltender that gets square to the ball very quickly, as we saw in that last 2-on-1 break off the shot from Durbala.
Bourget tried getting the puck that's knocked down defensively, but USA comes back to Huther. He took a shot. They hit a body in front. Team USA now with the ball. In behind the net. Players cross behind there. Converged on. Taken by Canada. Here's a played out to the middle. It's knocked around there. And a beautiful defensive play as USA tried a fast break, but it's taken away. And here's Huther with the ball again. Huther pulls up, goes cross. Here's a shot. A big stop there by Tan. Beautiful leg save there by Tan.
And Tan is a goalkeeper that utilizes his legs more often than the Canadian keeper, Chris Walker. He uses his height to his advantage and kicked out those big old blind save pants to stop that ball.
Errant pass. Back to Team Canada. They'll bring it up to the center line. Back to D. Over to Huther again, who's been on the floor for a little bit. Batani back into the corner, a little too far for the player there. It's converged to the middle, bounces around there. Another big stop by Tan. Needed to be quick on that as the errant ball bounced right to Bourget, who was right in front, and Tan came up with a bigger stop.
And you notice Tan is directing traffic as well, kind of dictating changes. And this is something that he's become more accustomed to over the last year or so. When he started, he was a bit more of a quiet goalkeeper. Now is used to being a field general out there.
Stoppage in play. There was a slight infraction, no harm, no foul, but it gives the Team Canada for the free hit, and they come out with it up over center. Knocked away there at center. Both players converge on it out of play, and it's possession USA with the free hit. So far, we got 15 minutes here to go in the first. Two big stops by Tan, who's been sharp. USA trying to get some possession time here. A nice spin move. It goes to the center. Bounces to the far boards. Players converge, a quick shot there, and Ferry, who turned around, found the ball there and just whistled it. Just grazed the top of that crossbar.
With the changes on this third line, it means there's 3 Chicago-based players out there who play frequently with one another. Nunu Addington, Conrad Grum, Owen Dummeldinger. We saw a little bit of that chemistry come to fruition during that last possession.
Dumped in deep to the USA zone. Dummeldinger will take it in behind his own net. Starts up to Nunu Addington. Addington went to center. They'll get a couple players on the change here, Team USA will. Canada will start out in their own zone. 14:20 clock running here in the first period. Score tied at 0. Still looking around methodically, no pressing, taking some time there, the Canadian defenseman is. And finally they'll come out with it. Pulls up, decides better not to. They try to get some movement into Hine. This could be dangerous. Keep you pressing them if USA does. Good defensively. Team Canada can't find a way to come on. They finally do. They break the press. On the far boards, there's Ethan Hawk, their team captain. Back to the point. Be careful there. A sweep shot. Nice play defensively for that block. Now Team USA gathers it, and they try to get a quick change, and they do up through center. Drum tried to get it to Chen, who was streaking down the floor in the middle, but just broken up by Team Canada.
We've seen the U.S. fall victim now a couple of times to those passes through center. We saw one from the third line in the last shift there, Parent attempting to spell out Chen, and the Canadians turning it over. A number of the Canadian goals last night came on such turnovers for the Americans.
Both players converge. Team USA with two of them in there. They've got some numbers. It's still pushed to the corner, and a free hit for USA is, I don't know if there was a stick infraction. Was a trip? Did he fall on the stick?
I think it was an illegal push in the corner. Yes. You're allowed in floorball to put your hand on an opponent's back as you go into the corner. But for safety reasons, because these boards are so low, you can't actually extend the arm. So when that happens, you're going to have an illegal push called. Usually it's a free hit type of infraction, but it can be a 2-minute penalty if severe enough.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was much, but just enough to knock the player off his feet. Chen Oderan with a quick shot on net, and Walker steered that up out of play. Team USA with a quick hit. They'll decide to get a change first, though.
And wisely electing not to spot the ball first. Durbala, who shot that last ball, he's got an excellent shot, but didn't really use it in last night's game, and that's something the coaching staff emphasized to him. They want him to shoot more because good things happen when he does.
Play in deep behind the Canadian net. Canada clears the zone. Both players converge just up over center. Still digging there, and again, whistle galore here. As the refs are calling it, seems a little tight just to the perspective here. There's a quick cross from Batani to the Canadian player whose shot went wide. 12-15 here to go in the first. There's a pass up off the boards, went dangerously to the center, cleared 2-on-1 for the United States, and just could not get that corralled. Here's a shot right on Tan. He scoops it up, takes a look down the floor, decides better, and then puts it back to his defenseman. Ferry will drop it to Samala.
And that possession, that last break for the Americans, Bainheim really needs to realize that Sepp Golvey is stepping in on that near wing. Didn't look up, find him in time. That gave the Canadians time to flow back towards the middle. And in floorball, as in hockey, if you don't know which man you're taking and you're coming back to help out defensively in transition, you want to flow towards the middle. The Canadians did a great job of that to stem out that 2-on-1.
Team Canada trying to get something going possession-wise. Team USA playing very well defensively here, keeping them on the outside, making them think twice about the play they're going to make. And there it is. They thwart it again, but still it just gets a friendly Canadian bounce there. He tries jamming to the side, decides better not, goes back up to the point. Nice play broken up there by Batani, and Betts corralled it for Canada. There's a shot right on, hit the side of the net. Tan scoops up the rebound, but there is a infraction on the play, a slash, it looks like.
Yeah, I think Oliver Parent is going to get called for this infraction. They're saying he held the stick down of a Canadian opponent. So unlike hockey and floorball, you can't commit stick checks. You can't hold another player's stick down. That happened in transition coming back. And when it's severe enough or in a scoring chance, you will get a 2-minute penalty, or the officials will assess a 2-minute penalty for it.
So Parent finds himself in the box, and here's the Canadian power play, which was very good yesterday. Batani plays a little catch with Huther. Huther dishes it off, receives it back. Into a diamond is Team USA's penalty kill. Huther with it. Back on the wing, there's a shot blocked out front beautifully by Merritt. Canada retains possession. 10:31 to go here in the first. 1:27 in the penalty kill, and off Tan out of play.
Maureen Engel, who had that block, was a hockey player in Switzerland before finding floorball, and he is one of the more physical players on Team USA, not afraid to put his body into the line of fire.
In deep to Bordage, who's playing at the side there on the back door. They didn't see him. Batani gets it up high at the point. On the far side, Batani again with it. Back to Huther. Huther looking. He tried going far side, in between both players. 56 seconds to go in the power play. That's directed towards the net. Just floated up above Tan. Corralled there by Team Canada. A shot blocked by Merritt. He hits a Canadian player. They're still bouncing around there. It goes out of play, and it'll be an American free hit. Beautiful time to penalty seconds to kill here for Team USA.
One of the things that's so crucial in a box play in floorball is recognizing who'd rather pass and who'd rather shoot. And in this case, Ian Chambers was given a lot of room to shoot, in part because the Americans know he would much rather pass, dish it off to Bataini or another similar player like Svoboda, who had it along the near wing just now.
4 players converge. It bounces. It gets a Canadian bounce. They corral it in the corner. 20 seconds left in their power play. There's a shot that when Aaron bounced to the middle, but back out to the point. Team Canada still, that ball, seeming to find some ball luck here. Wolf at the top. Got to watch out for him. There's a shot, just wide bounces, but knocked back in behind Tan. Both teams now at full strength. Canada still resumes possession. Back to the point. Here's Spride. Team Canada, he was pressured. Betts trying to spin out of there, but it's taken away. Betts found it and retrieved it back. He does a stutter step, splits it through the defenseman's legs, right down on Tan. A backhand. It was a nice stop there. Ferry with it. He'll go forward, backwards. He decides to go forward again and clears it down. Not a bad play there, and he dumps it in to Parent. Parent with it. The speedster, the captain for the team, will play it back to his defenseman, and that's a little errant. Now it's played back and pressed in USA corner. Still hounded by 2 Canadian players. He works hard up off the center. There's an errant play there. And Tan finds it rolling to him. He'll calmly jump on it and distribute it to his defenseman, Speidel.
A smart play by Harrison Tan to settle things down. Things have been rather scattershot for the U.S. on that last possession, and pretty much here on the beginning of this possession as well.
Tiny tried to find Bordage. He gets hit in the corner there, and there's going to be a stoppage in play, of course, because the wall moved on that one.
Yeah, there's a push by Engel that resulted in Bordage crashing into the wall. And Bordage, one of the very talented players for Team Canada, had 3 points last night.
Here's a 2-on position. If they hurry 3-on-1, drops to the middle and back check, and a play comes out to the point. That's tipped just wide. Well, there's a quick shot, hits some players in front, bounces around there. They're hacking, swinging, winging it, but it comes out to Team Canada. And Bordage said he got pushed in the back. And are they going to award a penalty on that? They are. So a little too rough was Zavolje on that play for Team USA, and they find themselves Trent in the box again, which is something they definitely wanted to avoid after last night.
Except Volge was called for the illegal push on the near side, and I'm not sure, we'll have to wait on the official match record to update, but I believe he was given the 2 minutes for talking back to the official in that circumstance.
Savoda just bounced one off of Tan's head. He finds it back in the corner. Savoda gets the stick knocked out of his hand. Both players go to the floor. Speidel finds it. Comes out to Team Canada and Farboards. They finally set up. 1:35 left in the Canadian power play. 6:52 left in the first. Svoboda with the shot. He didn't get all that. It bounces to Parent over the ferry. He'll take a whack at it. Killing some time down there. It bounces into Walker, the netminder, and he'll just dish it out to his defense when they start methodically back up the floor. Cross ice to Svoboda, cross floor to Svoboda. He receives it back, does a little swing cup with it, decides for a pass. Tran with it back up to the point, a quick shot there, wide of Tan, bounce out the backboards, rebound, scores! Stone. Johnny on the spot, Stone found the rebound, buried it for Canada's first goal.
Jake Speidel playing net front on that particular power play. And realistically, the Americans have to, in that circumstance, rotate over to the near post on a shot like that. He bounced off the rear boards. You could see Tan was upset with himself for not finding it sooner. But ultimately, it's the responsibility of the low two in that 2-1-1 penalty kill to clear that ball, or at least assist in clearing Speidel, making sure Speidel doesn't get that easy chip in from net front.
And now Team USA finds itself down by a goal. See how they react. Pradani with a quick shot. Walker had to be tough with that. Rebound bounces all the way out to center. 5:50 here left to go in the first. Shots favoring Team Canada, 6-4 at this point. Huether with it. He's looking far side, decides better. Little drop pass to Batani. Back on the far side, nobody there but Merritt. He plays it up quickly. But nice offensive play by Team Canada, and they start back. Bordage missed Batani and starts Parent back. Parent with a quick shot on Walker. He tries to get his own rebound, and Team Canada corrals it, and they come back up through center. Bordage's been out there for a while, that line has. Parent putting some pressure on the Canadian defenseman. It'll turn away Huether. He does another spin, gets away from Perrant, but that's a nice play. Knock to Bordage over to Perry. Oh, and a shot. Perrant just took maybe just a little too much time. A quick spot there. Nice play out front. It's bouncing around. Perrant again throws it back to the point, and that'll relieve some pressure for Team Canada, unfortunately.
And Parent, an excellent play to put that ball back in play quickly. Realized Canada was changing, realized that both he and Durbala stayed out there. They were able to get a quick and kind of cheap and easy opportunity in front of the net.
The crowd getting into it. Team USA chance. There's a shot just wide of Tan. Bounces back to Svoboda. Throwing on a far wing to Speidel, and Perrant, who had it, didn't have any gas to move forward. He goes to the bench. Team Canada corrals the puck, moves dangerously in front of their own net. And then finally we'll pull it down and start back over with 4:10 on the clock here left in the first period.
The Americans, the Americans kind of in between line changes is Nunu Addington out there with part of the first line, and now that they've got possession back, they'll start to rotate back around to the third line. Unable to get a change, and now they've got 6 men out there. The refs did not catch it, and the U.S. very fortunate to not have given up a third power play.
They could have used the power play at this point, but it's pushed forward, and there's Durbala in their first one. Throws it over to Nunu. Addington with it now. Addington with a player on his back. He makes a nice play to Durbala with a quick shot, and Walker has to be quick on that. Ball bouncing around. It comes to Durbala again with another shot. He gets it for a third time. He couldn't corral that down, and finally the Canadians will come back out to the center. They get a couple line chases, and it's pulled all the way back by Wolf, who hands it off to Batani. 3:12 left to go in the first. 1-0. Team Canada with the lead here. You're watching Game 2 of the Men's World Qualifying Championship here from Blackhawks Ice Center. Down the wing, nice play by Dunn. He takes it out front to Ferry. Just couldn't find the handle on it. I think he would have liked to have that one back. Canadians come back the other way. Batani with a shot, and Tan net goes off his shoulder. Into the corner again. Batani trying to hold off the defense of Grum, and Grum took exception to it and is getting a warning by the referee as he goes to the bench. No harm, no foul. Ref had a little word with him, said, listen, I just didn't appreciate the elbow, but there's just a warning.
Once again, the U.S. third line able to turn over the energy, put the U.S. on the front foot, and now they're going to get the benefit of a penalty call.
And there you go, as Chen got dumped it in the corner. Took a hard spill there. And finally, the United States, something that they needed for a while, a power play. Being down 1-0 here is Patahani will go to the box.
Banaini taking that last penalty, and that's a circumstance that happens not infrequently in floorball, we'll say. You're allowed shoulder-to-shoulder contact, but when you're going into the corner so hard, you also have to give the other player a little bit of space. Banaini didn't do that, and he's going to sit for 2 or less.
So we'll see what the power play has for Team USA. Tridom playing it quick. They're moving that ball pretty quickly. Tridom takes a look. Nice little fake there, but Tiny throws it in front across. He scores! A beautiful play as Boeheim found himself with the ball on that far side, snapped it quick over the outstretched Walker, and just like that, it's 1-1. Team USA with the goal.
The two teams exchanging power play goals. The play started realistically with Sawatsky, who had the quick sweep fake that allowed a Canadian defender to bite, dumped it off underneath to Chen, and an exemplary diagonal pass across the Canadian box play for Chen. Boeheim did not miss, and that's been coming for Nathaniel Boeheim. He had a number of chances in last night's game. He's got a strong shot. He's a guy who's played in Finland. He plays in Germany as well, and he made Canada pay for that incorrect push in the corner. Now even at 1.
And Boeheim got the ball flipped to him. Someone took it, noticed whatever momentum that is for scoring a goal in the world qualifier here, and they collected the ball for him, and well deserved.
Yeah, Team USA has a tradition where for your first goal scored, they keep the ball. First goal scored internationally for the U19s. For Boeheim, that one. He may get another one for the adult team later on in his floorball career if he keeps it up. He's a big, strong player that's been very effective for the Americans.
Engel now taking a look. Team USA just here, just taking their time methodically. Errant pass there, and it has to force to take the Canadian player into the wall, and Team Canada will get a free spot here, a free hit. They put it down, Bourdager does. 1:30 here left to go in the first. Tied at 1. There's a shot wide of Tan. It bounces to the side of Tan and right into his pad. He'll hold it down. He looked down floor for a little bit, decided better, and dumped it to his defenseman Engel, who a nice play forward. There's numbers there, and just Boeheim did not see his teammate. He had an open shot there, and nonetheless, Team Canada comes back with it. Up the center, Haney with it. He gains control. There's a shot, and looked like Tan got a piece of that.
Tan may have gotten a piece. Matthew Bertrand may have also gotten a piece with his stick. There were a number of Americans selling out to try and stop that. But once again, we see kind of a misconnection there between Boeheim and Svepgolgi, because Svepgolgi was in position in that 2-on-1. And again, just keeping your head up is going to allow you to find that player in space in the future.
Svoboda now with the puck, gives it to Speidel, the goal scorer for Team Canada. Betts, Speidel. Speidel taking a look. He's way far back in his zone, trying to stretch that floor out. USA has nothing of that. They intercept the pass up through the middle. Bounces off the ref into the corner. 25 seconds left to go in the first. Everything even. Shots at 8, score at 1.
Canada's going to look for the last shot.
15 seconds to go here left on the clock. Team Canada trying to get out of their zone. Betts to Speidel. There, no harm. The clock goes down to 10 seconds. Up through center. An errant pass. There's the ball. He's got a man in front. Oh, and he just couldn't put it past Speidel. 3 on the clock. 2 on the clock. Goes onto the sideboards, and that'll be it for the end of the first period. Exciting first period. We want you to join us for the second intermission.
Welcome back to the intermission report. As promised, we've got a very special guest joining us today on the intermission report is Anton Fondell. Forward with the Chicago Blackhawks, chosen third overall in the 2025 NHL entry draft. Anton, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a great pleasure.
Thank you for having me. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. So, for those who don't know, what's your familiarity with the sport of floorball?
So especially when I was younger, when we played those hockey tournaments with my first hockey team called Farsta here in Stockholm. Between every hockey game, lunch break, when we had some free time to spend, it was always because everyone bring their floorball sticks to those tournaments. So between the games, we were having like floorball games outside of the hockey rink. So it was the whole day. Actually, it was a stick and a puck or a stick and a ball during those tournaments. So yeah, I love floorball, and then I play a lot. Actually, we have a nice room at home where I can play like 3-on-3 floorball with my friends. So that was also like Saturday routines we did after games. Everyone came home to me and then we played floorball games. So I love the sport.
That's amazing. Yeah, so I'm wondering, do you feel like it had a positive impact maybe on your training regimen as you were growing up and as you were advancing in hockey as well?
Of course. I mean, it's in hockey you use a stick and a puck. It's almost similar in floorball, except the puck you play with a ball. So you get the hand-eye coordination. You can work on your like almost the hockey sense, but floorball sense. Reading the game. And instead of gliding like you can do in hockey, you need to move your feet all the time, which also feels like you get good training at the same time. And then it's a fun game to play and pretty easy too. You need a pair of shoes, a stick, and then a ball. It's not like hockey where you need a whole equipment gear and a lot of gears. So
Yeah, like one of the characteristics regarding your game in hockey, and you're a good all-around player, but everyone talks about how hard your shot is. And so I'm curious, like when you were playing 3v3 at your parents' house, did you have that same hard shot with floorball as you do in hockey?
uh, I don't know. I think the technique like between floorball stick and hockey stick is a little different. And I still haven't like figured out how to use the flex in a floorball stick. I think it's easier in a hockey stick. But also like in hockey where you have your pads, like if you block a shot, it doesn't hurt. But in floorball, it can hurt a lot if you if you block it. So I don't think I was like allowed to shoot too hard too. So yeah.
Did you consider yourself a shot blocker in those 3v3 games at your parents' house?
I don't think I ever blocked a shot in floorball. I don't want those like ball marks all over my knees. I try
Fair
I
enough.
tried to a couple times, but yeah, not my thing.
So, for you personally, now you're a world junior champion, which is amazing. You made your NHL debut with Chicago in the last year. What was the last year like for you personally, just as an athlete overall?
Um, it was like full of different new levels. I kind of like reached. You always set goals, and first goal of the year was to make my SHL debut and make the team in Djurgården here in Sweden. And then my second goal was to to go to Worlds, which I did, and then we also ended up winning it, the juniors, and then playoffs with Djurgården. Then move, quick like turn from Djurgården to Chicago. Played the day after, and then made the Worlds. with Team Sweden. So it feels like I played on so many different teams this year. But it's always new steps, new levels, which is inspiring.
Welcome back, and what a nice piece that interview on Anton Frontel. And unlike Anton using his ice hockey stick, Trent, you have a little stick action here to show everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the example of the floorball and the floorball stick. You see that the stick itself is gridded. Now, these grid patterns can vary based on what the players want. You can also curve the stick based on what your position is or what the ideal goal of your type of play, whether it's to pass or shoot. And then you see the ball has little grids on it in addition to the holes. So the combination between the grid on the stick and the holes on the ball and the pattern on the ball means that that ball dips and dives, and it's even more difficult than it is for goaltenders when it comes to stopping the ball during play.
And kids, Coach Trent will tell you to keep your fingers out of that webbing there. It doesn't feel good when you get it caught in there.
No, you have to have surgery, it turns out.
A second period action here. Score tied at 1. Welcome back here. Energetic first period for both teams. Play into the Canadian zone. The Canadian player loses a stick right out front, and Spidell was there for Team Canada to corral it and start over.
Great play for Spidell because his player, his defensive partner, had lost his stick in that circumstance. So effectively, he's trying to defend a 2-on-1, did the right thing, go right to the net front and block down the pass.
Here's Perrant right out front, found himself and didn't like the shot, fired it high over Walker.
It looked like the ball took a little bit of a hop on Ollie before he shot. And with the floor ball because it is so light, unless you hammer down on it while it's in the air, it's going to go skyward. That's exactly what happened on that particular shot.
So a couple changes for both teams here. Team Canada finds himself still with possession of the ball here. 19:05 here, the first period. Players converge in the corner and play is stopped. A spot and a free hit for Team Canada. Back to the point. There's a quick shot, a drive. Tan with the rebound, knocked to the corner. Players battling along the far boards back in behind the USA net. Converged on. Two players. Grum finds himself still bounced around in the corner. No help. Three players converge. Still, the Canadians come out with it. Bahani finds himself for Team Canada at the point. Throws it on the near boards. Bright out front, and a shot just wide of Tan. It bounces back in behind the netminder's net. Still in behind the USA net. Possession Canada. Back to the point. Bahani spins around. He's pressured by Team USA and gathers himself, and Team Canada will start slowly over with 18:20 here to go in the second period. Score tied at 1.
Once again, Canada out on the front foot with this second line matchup as they were last night. They continue to get the lion's share of the chances when these two lines are matched.
A quick break by USA, thwarted there by the Team Canada. They come back. Here's a quick shot off of Tan's mask. Spins out of the corner right in front of Tan, and that one's just wide. McQueen spins it back. Here's a shot. Hits players in front. Bounces out. Got to watch out for McQueen there. Angle has it. He dumps it back out. It's played off the hand or chest of Grum. I couldn't tell, but nonetheless, you can't do that in a free hit by Team Canada.
Yeah, the issue there is that Conrad jumped. Oh, and a screen goal.
And just like that, it looked innocent, but it wasn't. It found the back of the net. As Ty Shreve just found it on his stick, fired it, and finds the net.
Shreve, one of the younger players on Team Canada. He's just one of a couple of 15-year-olds, and this is why we say in floorball there's no such thing as a bad shot if you get it past the first layer. Shreve did an excellent job pulling it through center, getting it through the first layer, and it looked like Tan was screened completely by one of his defenders. I don't think that ball was tipped. Could have been, but either way, Canada out to a 2-1 lead, and what is kind of a fluky goal given the way play has been for both of these teams so far.
And Speidel thwarts the pressure from Chen from the United States. Team Canada will start back in behind their net. Quick goal, 2-1 lead. It's played a nice pass there. Here's a quick play from Team Canada. Out front, a shot, rebound, bounces around in front and cleared by Team USA.
Excellent play by Eric Chen to get down on a knee in the front of the crease, playing his center position par excellence back in defensive help.
Same type of play again. Oh, that one just could get it to center by Team Canada. There's a stellar save, 2 of them by Tan. Cleared but not out. Nice tip to himself as Stone. He'll just wheel around the United States net. Calday with it, throws it back to his counterpart Speidel. Speidel taking a look. He'll pull it back, try to stretch the floor, gives him some more room. Calday on the far near side. He finds it, tried putting it through the legs, but it was a great play that was kicked up by 22. Samala, and Canada has to start back in their own zone. 16:20 to go here in the second period.
Yeah, the second line coming back out for the Americans, countered by the second line by the Canadians, and this has really been our matchup to watch. Tommy McQueen, who was player of the game last night for the Canadians, out there, but it's his counterpart that gets the goal.
And just like that, just as you were calling it, that same type of play, and Bordage just find himself on his forehand, and he's got a bullet of a shot. He found the upper corner on Tan.
He does have quite the shot. And talking to Caleb Winder, who was the USA starting goaltender last night, said one of the harder shots that he has seen. Bordage got a couple of goals last night, gets one here tonight. And now for Canada, you've got a scenario where The power play has scored. The second and third line have scored. That's like found money if you're the Canadians, because you expect your first line to do well against maybe the Americans' first line if you're Canada. But if your second and third line are driving play, that's nothing but beneficial to you.
Here's a dangerous play coming right out front. Team Canada did almost turn it into a great scoring chance. Mayhem working hard again. He tried putting it toward the netminder Walker, hits a couple bodies, goes back into the corner, and another spot and a quick hit for the Americans. There's a quick shot over that Boeheim took. Doesn't hit anybody out of play, and Canada gains possession of the ball. They'll all get a couple changes here. Both teams will. 15:35 left to go in the second period. Canada up by 2 goals, 3-1.
There are a lot of reasons why there's this 2-goal lead for the Canadians, but one of them is that they are hitting the net. They're hitting the net and creating opportunities. The Americans, as we saw in that last possession, struggling to find the cage.
In the corner, there's 2 Canadians there. Calde gets the puck. Calde tries a quick shot, blocked in front, box up to Spidell. It's knocked away. Good play by Tan. On the doorstep was Wolf. You got to be careful of Ethan Wolf, the captain. Svoboda looking around. Spidell, the Wolf. They start rotating the Betts. Betts tries to get it through the crease. It bounces around. Svoboda couldn't find a handle. Both players go and push it to the bench. Svoboda took a little extracurricular activity there and put the American player Durbal into the bench. And now the refs are saying, hey, listen, the spot, you got to get a change here. Both teams make full changes. Americans with the free hit, they'll slowly wait for everybody to get in a position here, and now they start. Stone with the ball. 14:35 here. Americans down by 2 goals. They desperately need some pressure in the Canadian zone here, Trent.
And we'll see if they begin to activate their defense a little bit more with Bertrand and Engel out there, but got to get it through center pitch first.
McQueen, you got to be careful, as you mentioned earlier. A couple goals last night. Still hovering around there. That ball is deflected out of play. Possession will be retained by Team Canada. There's the spot. There's the play. Fanned on that. Knocked out. Grum pokes the passes. Here's Grum down the wing. Grum, he just could hit Boeheim in front of nice play. Team Canada comes back on the rush. That play is poke check. Grum finds the ball again. He pushes it back to his defensive counterpart there.
And this is a change for the second liner. They were in between a change, it looks like, because Grum was out there with Boeheim. Not a ton of chemistry because they haven't practiced together this week, and maybe that caused the misfire on the breakaway.
Eddington tried a shot to hit a Canadian player. No harm, no foul. Quick back out of Ferry. Iggy Ferry with it. Iggy surveyed the situation, a quick turnaround of the shot. It bounces to Addington. Addington trying to gain possession. He's got a couple players on him from Team Canada. He throws it back to the point. Letterman with it. Letterman tried dishing it into Ferry. He does find it. Ferry with a quick shot. He was under pressure. It goes far in the corner. Both players from Team USA converge on it. There's Grum. Tried to get it to Ferry. It bounces in behind the Canadian net. 2 players for the Americans. Grum comes out with it. Here's Addington out front, and Ferry just missed that. There's a quick turnaround. No one could get a tip on that, and Walker will corral it and slow it down for Team Canada with 12:53 here left to go. And finally, some pressure by the Americans.
And we've seen time and again this third line for the Americans changing the energy in this game. We'll see if the first line can follow it up, but the third line still has business here.
Addington with a couple sweet moves, just couldn't get the shot. One-on-one spot. Here's shot wide and out of play.
Addington, a great job after fanning on that shot. Beat it straight back to the middle. And once again, as we talk about in transition and floorball, you want to go back to the middle defensively, able to get a stick on that shot attempt. So let's see if the third line energy for the Americans translates into some offense for the first line against the Canadian first line.
Svoboda, Spidell. Svoboda, Spidell. Still's trying to stretch out that floor. He'll bring it into the side of his net. Dangerous pass in the front. He felt confident enough to make it to Svoboda, who gives it back to his defensive partner. Another dangerous turn there. He's hovered by Derbala. Derbala's pinning him into the corner. Good job by Derbala to force his man there. He's not falling for any of the jukes whatsoever. He's got him behind the net. If they put another player on him, he got him pinned. Still, good forechecking by Derbala. Derbala forces. And I couldn't tell you what was there, maybe a stick infraction on that, and it forced not enough for a penalty, but free possession or free spot for the Canadian team. Svoboda's still in behind his net. They haven't been able to get a change with these guys between Svoboda and Speidel. It's still, here's Perron out from Derbala. Oh, and a good play by Walker to anticipate that and stick his hand out to thwart a scoring opportunity. Team Canada comes back to Svoboda, and a beautiful defensive play there by Samala.
An excellent read on that play for Chris Walker. Knowing that Perron's main play there was going to be the backhand pass, and knowing that backhand passes are naturally a little bit slower in floorball, calculated, hey, I think I can get to this ball and cut the pass off in the middle. If that pass gets through, probably a goal. So that's a goal-saving read of the play by Chris Walker, and it comes back to the fundamental principle of goaltending. It's not about making saves, it's about preventing goals.
And trying to prevent a goal here is Team USA, and a stellar stop there by Tan as he just prevented one.
And here again, the second line versus second line matchup that's been so fruitful to this point in the series for the Canadians.
Chambers up to Hugher. That play broken up nicely. Knocked out through center. Here's a break. Boheim almost broke in, but Chambers stripped him of the ball at the last moment. The Canadians dumping in deep on the far side. Both players converge. The ball is moving there back and forth. There's an arm wrapped around. The play is blown whistle, and the Canadians will retain possession on a spot and a free hit.
I think that's a good tactical foul by Bertrand because it gave his team an opportunity to get set. It took out one of the more dangerous players on the far corner. And then you see Canada whisking the free hit wide and out. So realistically, committing the foul there generated the turnover for the Americans.
10:34 left here to go in the second period. Midway through the game, Canadians up by 2 goals, a 3-1 lead. There's a turnover right here. Kyle Day just fired that over the net, and on a turnover, good scoring opportunity, but an errant shot. Team USA regains possession of spot, and they'll start over now.
Sawatsky getting a shift up with this first line instead of Derbala. Let's see what the goal scorer from a night ago can do.
Back in their zone, a little drop pass. He's got a free lane there. Couldn't get the pass hard enough. It's broken up by the Canadians. Svoboda tried to get out front to Hugher. That's broken up by Chen. Chen down the left side. A play by Hugher there. A nice strip of that by Chen. Now numbers for the Canadians. There's a shot off Tan's mask and a nice save. It bounces out to Perron. He just couldn't reach it. Beat to the ball there in Speidel. No pressure on him, but just try to contain it and slow it down here. Here's a quick pass out to Calday. Calday with it. He's got a man in front. His shot. He scores! Finding himself all alone out front. Beautiful pass from Calday, and Ethan Wolf, the captain, was there on the far side for an easy tip-in.
There are a few different things to point out about this play for the Canadians. First of all, execution, excellent. The pass had to be on the floor in order to get that easy tip in front from the captain, Wolf. But also for the Americans, that backside defender was too high, didn't realize that Wolf had slipped in behind him. Tan has to take the shot because Canada has been a shoot-first team so far. So Tan came out off the pass angle, but on the shot angle, that backside defender has to maintain positioning on that backside wing. That time Wolf made them pay.
And the Americans find themselves, as of last night, playing from behind, which they did manage to come back and narrow the gap yesterday. So this halfway through, they find themselves down by 3 and a little pressure on hers up through center. Far dump into the corner. Players converging in on the far side. 9:15 left. Ball out of play.
We'll get a face-off in the corner here. The official said, I have no idea who that went off of last, and that's something that the officials have the leverage to do.
And when that happens, I look immediately at you, Coach. I just kind of didn't know either. I said, what the heck happened? So, but a face-off here. Love these plays. Canada tried, there was a set play, it looked like, to bank it forward off the boards. Team USA there being pinned in behind the net. Players converge, 2, 3, 4 players. There's a slash, a spot for Team USA. Out of the corner, Addington out front. There's a quick shot, and Grum just couldn't get it through. Bounces around, comes back to the point. Cleared back in deep. Players converge on it into the near corner. Cleared, but USA still has it, pressing in the Canadian zone. 8:47 here left to go here. 4-1 Canada. Team USA, which they cherish time possession here. Grum with it. Grum a little shimmy shake. Grum out front for this. Grum still finds himself with it. Great position back to the point. There's a shot, a fanned on. Didn't get all of it. And
an incorrect hit there on the stick. And the official, the official was only slightly demonstrative about it, but it's sometimes tough to tell if you're not looking right at the official. If you're watching floorball for the first time, sometimes the motions can be very slight, and in that case, motion was very slight, but incorrect hit it was.
I don't know. I put the whistle away. That's what I'm saying. There's a shot right on Tan. He has to be careful that he's going to play it up on a quick break here. Not a bad decision. There's a body position that wasn't called. Here's still another one. Batani, 2 good plays physically that weren't called. Dumps it up on the wing. Team Canada up through center, and it's cleared in deep. Engel with it, with a man on him. Engel spins out of the corner. He's poke checked there. Gets it back. Still kept in the Canadian zoo. McQueen with it. Now be careful with this guy. He'll turn around on a quick shot like that, and Tan had to be really sharp. 7:35, 4-1 Canada. United States being pressed in. Here's a giveaway to the side of the net. He scores, and a bad errant bounce. And just, you can't explain it except on the spot there, Bordager again finds himself, and just right there, nothing it looked like Tan could get over there quick enough, Trent.
So when a bounce like that happens, oftentimes it catches the defense out of position. We get a timeout by the Americans so we can talk through this goal. But ultimately, when Bordage gets it behind the net, under a normal defensive circumstance, your D will drop down and will take one or the other post. In that case, the defense wasn't that low, so they couldn't take either post. That left Tan in a rough spot because he had to make a decision. Do I take the near side post or the far side post? So he took the near side post there, realized it was coming around to the far side post, but couldn't get knee on post in order to seal that end off. That's one of the more common ways in which you see a goal scored from behind the net is a weird bounce. It catches the goalie and the defense by surprise. So nothing Tan could do about that because it's difficult to play both posts as a goalie. He's got the type of length where he can get his body to both posts, but he can't get it elevated on both sides. So that's the reason for the goal. And Bordage, for his part, give him all the credit in the world for recognizing what was happening, recognizing that he had the forehand wrap on the far side, and puts Canada to a 5-1 lead.
So we'll see with 7:20 left here to go in the second period. United States down by, hey, this game is far from over, as we found that out last night. The Team USA has the grit to come back, has the scores to come back, and we'll see how they handle this right now. They lug it in deep in the Canadian zone, work there in behind Perron. He tries to wrap around. Could get it to Perron. Spins around from the point. He fires it. It bounces off the backboards, and Walker will scoop it up. The Canadian goaltender will, and play goes on. Spidell finds himself with it. Throws it up on the far side, in along the boards. Took out. There's a nice play back to Spidell. He receives it at the point. Team Canada will try to set up. There's a cross ice to Svoboda. Svoboda across court to Saborda. Couldn't clear the zone. Calday receives it out right in front. A shot. He scores. Bounce right to Calday. He was 25 feet out from Tan and did not miss that upper corner.
So the near side defender on this goal has to take Ethan Wolf. We've seen Wolf score already from the net front, so he is your main read. And in this circumstance, Calday stepped into the middle and the center, which in this case Eric Chen, you want to ideally step closer to the forehand. Kelde comes in, wasn't really like a full sweep shot, but had time, came out on the forehand. There was about a good 3 meters to the nearest defender, and when you have that type of time and space and you've got Kelde's shot, you typically don't miss.
And he certainly didn't. And we'll find out what kind of character this young USA team has. Engel now will lead the rush. Engel takes a look around. He finds on the far side there to the net. That's tipped wide by the Canadian defender. Good forecheck by Team USA. They gain possession in the corner. 5:55 left here to go in the second period. Team USA find themselves down by a few. Shots on net, 16-10 favoring Canada. Crowd wants to get into this desperately. Team USA desperately needs a goal at this point in the game. Nothing going right as it just bounced off Segolchi's stick and into the Canadian bench. Both teams will get some changes, get some fresh legs on the court. Team Canada fires it deep into the USA zone, an obstruction, and the whistle is called. Spot, free hit. Engel finds it behind his net. Engel will step out for the Team USA. Pressured there by the Canadians. Gives it to his defensive partner. Back to Engel again. Engel with the free lane down there. Engel tries getting up center. He does. Cleared in deep. Here's Ferry with it. Ferry putting some pressure on. Spins a Canadian defender there. A nice play by Grum. Grum with the turnaround and a shot, and that one just went over the outstretched arm of Walker out of play.
The shots from the Americans, as we talked about, really not hitting the net too much. There have been officially there's been just one shot on net by the Americans in this second period.
Here's Addington out front. He found himself after a loose turnover and a big stack pad save by Walker. There's a shot on Tan, and that's over the net as McDonald just found himself with it, spun it around, and fired it over Tan's hand.
So make it 2 shots on net now for the Americans in this second period. Yeah. But there's a number of reasons why you can fan on shots or shots go high and wide. And I think after looking at the last few American shots, it's that they don't take the time and space that they have. They feel rushed. And that's a credit to the Canadians' defense, because a lot of times, like we see here, the Americans are rushed in terms of breaking it out and also in terms of scoring offensively. And their double dinger, that's pretty close to the cage, but that's a great example of something that can happen in floorball. A D stepping up into an offensive position. Dumbeldinger has the speed and athleticism to drive through this Canadian third line.
And Dumbeldinger again with the ball coming out of his own zone, presses up to Perrin, who throws it into Chen deep in the Canadian zone. Chen looks around, he pulls it down. Chen spins back in the corner, trying to get behind the Canadian net. He's bodied off the ball there, and there's going to be a penalty on that play, and the Americans will go on a much-needed power play. 4:18 here into the second.
And I'll be honest with you, I think the Americans might be the beneficiary here of this call because, again, shoulder-to-shoulder contact is allowed, and I would accept the idea that that contact from Svoboda was probably a little bit harder than what it needed to be, but it's up to the officials' discretion as to how dangerous it is, whether it's a free hit or a 2-minute penalty. And here it's a 2-minute penalty, and we see the Americans' power play.
And they need something big to happen here. Just the beginning of the power play, 4:05 left to go here in the second. They find themselves down, and that hits a body in front, and the Americans have to wheel back. Slowly, methodically. Cross, Boeheim with it. He's taking a look. He throws it back to the point. Little catch back and forth. Trying to get the quick passes. Nothing going towards the net as of yet. There's a shot. It hits a defender out in front. It bounces back to Tybrom. Tybrom with it again. Sets it up. Look out here. It bounces up on Swatsky. Over to Boeheim. Boeheim with it. Boeheim back to Tybrom. They got to get something to the net here. Swatsky with it. Swatsky in deep to Chen. Chen back to Tybrom. Trybomb surveying the situation. Back to Swatsky. Swatsky still far on that outside wall to Chen and deep. He gets it out front to Ferry. It bounces over his stick, or to Perron. It bounces out his stick, and Trybomb has to go all the way back for the United States player. And he hit that unintentionally out of play. Canadians will get possession with a spot and a free hit here. 14 seconds left to go in the power play for the Americans.
It was a patient power play for the Americans, but again, just the one early shot on goal, and that continues to plague the Americans' offense here in terms of just how much their offense can get balls on cage.
So coming up through center, that'll all but kill the penalty, and it does, and both teams now are at full strength. Swatsky finds himself. He makes the play up to Boeheim. Boeheim spins back towards the center. He finds Perrant there, just takes another swat at it. Chen back out to the point. Trybomb goes back for it. They've been out for a while. Trybomb being pressured by Bordage. He pulls it down and finds Parent again. Parent, captain, to Boeheim. Boeheim up through the center again. Boeheim with a shot deflected wide. Grum couldn't get a handle on the bouncing ball. Canada will try to start out. It bounces around in front of the Canadian bench on the far side. Bodies flying around there. Canada comes up with it. Nothing going on against the Americans. There's a good play there defensively. No call on that. That was a great play. There's Perrant finds himself streaking down the wing. A pass back, a shot, and Grum just put that wide. Back out in front. There's a swipe at it by Addington, and Walker comes up with the ball. Great plays there by the Americans. Had some great scoring opportunities. Calday with it. Calday pulls up behind the American net. Look out. He's got everybody looking at him. Watch the players behind. You got to be careful of that. Calday spins, finds the middle to Betts. He got that shot blocked. It's chipped back out. The players are converged in the corner, and there's going to be a little bit of extracurricular activity, and Dummeldinger was a little frustrated, and he's going to sit.
Yeah, he felt like he was pushed initially by the Canadian player Arlo Kelday, and Kelday is also going to sit. So we'll see here if the penalties are even or if they give Dummeldinger an extra 2. They were caught up behind the play, and this is one of those things that with Owen Dummeldinger, you get he does tend to be a more emotional player. It helped out in that shift. It actually created some offensive opportunities for the Americans, but sometimes you get mixed up with this. I think for the Americans, you might take some 4-on-4 floorball if it is truly 4-on-4. Now, they've given Dummeldinger an additional 2 here, so they'll have to likely have someone come over here and either serve the penalty if it is of that variety, or Dummeldinger might have to serve the extra 2 at the end of his penalty, which would give the Canadians a power play towards the beginning of the third period. So that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to start 4v4 here, and the Canadians will get a power play about a minute into the third period. But maybe the open pitch helps out the Americans trying to scrape back into this game.
It could light a fire is what they need. A little physicality there just to, as you mentioned, getting frustrated with what the score is and feel like you're being taken advantage of. But nonetheless, you got to stay composed, especially when you're down. You need some goals.
Good play by Chen. Recognition on that backside, making it difficult for Betts.
Spidel with the ball now. Tan knocks that away. Players there. Perrant will take it back into his own zone. He spins away from the defender, the Canadian defender. He'll throw it back over to Samala, who will just slow it down here. Time winding down in the second period. 16 seconds to go here. Teams at 4-on-4 here. USA finds themselves down by 5. Nobody's moving on the play. They may just pull it down and go to intermission here to talk about this period. A quick play forward. Time winding down, and that is it. Join us for second, third period action coming up here.
just never know when we're gonna
Welcome back. Let's go down to the floor where Mike Livingston is talking to number 18, Iggy Fair from Team USA, and the captain from Team Canada, number 23, Ethan Wolf. Michael.
Iggy, not the way you guys would want the first 2 periods to go, obviously, but still, great opportunity, good things going. What do you think you guys can maybe do third period to turn this thing around?
Yeah, I think it's all mental. I think we're giving them more than they're earning. I think this is our game to take, and we're going to come out hard third period, and we're going to show what we're worth, and yeah.
And like I said, big stuff. It's a big weekend for the sport, for the program, everything all in all. I mean, what's it been like for you guys just having this time together, getting stuff done, doing all that?
Yeah, I mean, this weekend's been great. All the boys getting to bond together. All week we've been doing team bonding, practices every day, and eating meals all together, no phones at team dinner. It's been great. I love the no phones, getting to meet everybody across the country. It's just been great. We're a great team. Love the way we mesh, love the way we bond.
Now, have you guys sort of been with each other before, or is this the first time you're really all getting to spend time together?
Yeah, it's the first time we're all together as a team. Several of us have done some tournaments together, but yeah, first time we've all been together. It's been a good week. We all mesh really well. I love this group.
I guess between the sport and between just spending time together, having that experience, what has been your favorite part of this thing, all in all?
Yeah, favorite part of this is just all the brothers I get to make. I mean, all my friends, I meet them, stay in contact with them, meet them every time we play floorball together. It's just great getting to meet everybody across the world, across the country, and just the connection floorball brings to everybody.
And I guess, what do you think the biggest part of your game is? Maybe something that you've discovered about your game throughout this tournament so far?
Yeah, throughout this tournament, I play ice hockey, so a big part is just like my speed, and I feel like I'm a big team guy. I'm a big locker room guy, keep everybody's heads up, always motivating everybody. If I can't do my part on the court, then I'm doing my part on the bench, helping everybody out, and just, yeah, big team.
And then you talk about that hockey aspect. Obviously, the sports have a lot of things in common. What is the biggest thing that you think translates from floorball to hockey or vice versa?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of similarities, vice versa. I mean, there could be some big differences. Shooting's a big difference. I think just the IQ of the game is very similar. If you have some hockey background, you can kind of see the similarities and you can pick it up, and you can have some good breakouts, good regroups, good attack, some similar plays going on there.
And then, obviously, you know the sports are similar, but what is something different about floorball from hockey that you enjoyed more, would you say?
Yeah, the biggest thing I enjoy is just you can't glide on the court. You can't stay, if you're tired, you still have to move your feet. In hockey, you can kind of glide, you can mess around. In floorball, there's none of that. You have to keep moving. It's fast paced. There's no breaks. Like, you have to keep going.
Well, thanks, Iggy. I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Thank you.
Congratulations. How are you? All right. Ethan?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. We're just going to go.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Talk about it. First 2 periods, you guys are up big.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you hold on?
Our game plan going in is just keep going, step on their, just make them think and make them frustrated as we go. So we're just going to keep going and make them think hard and work the ball hard.
You guys performed well yesterday. You performed really well today. What's this been like for you, just being able to put together such a good effort so far?
All the guys love each other. We're here to have fun, have a good time. We know what our end goal was coming into this, and we just want to get the job done. But still got a period to play here, so we got to go out hard and finish this game strong.
What do you think the biggest part of it's been for you guys, putting it all together?
Biggest part's probably getting everyone together, like when we're not in the court and playing just games of sewer and warm-up as a team, just getting everyone connected and on the same page with how we want to go.
And then obviously you guys get to come across the border, experience a lot of new stuff together as a team. What's that been like?
Oh, it's an amazing experience. Just getting to travel around the world, getting to see new things, different places, meet new people especially. It's just a great time and wouldn't trade it for the world.
And I guess what's your favorite part of this week been, either on the court or off?
I'd say just getting to spend time with people I don't get to see all that often. Our floorball team's right now, Team Canada, part of so many different cultures and so many different places, so just getting to see everyone and hanging out with them's like a great time. It's just awesome.
I guess, what would your hope be for this team, this program moving forward?
My hope is that we can get more people involved and get more things more clubs involved, not just Team Canada that travels around playing other countries, but more in nation tournaments and things like that.
And then I really got to know. Left shoe before why? What's up there?
I don't know. I grew up as a hockey player and soccer player. I always learned how to do things with my left hand before my right hand. So I guess I just followed that up with the same thing. So I don't know.
No superstition attached?
I don't know. My biggest real superstition is every time I warm up, I'm always holding a floorball. And every time I'm doing an exercise, I throw it and catch it. So that's my big one. And if I miss the ball, it's going to be a bad day.
All right. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate it. Good luck.
You.
Back to you guys.
So there you go. 2 young floorball players representing their country. You get to know a little bit personally about them. Great stuff there. Thank you, Mike. Trent, with a couple seconds here to go before another break, a quick description of the second period.
Yeah, the U.S. had trouble breaking out of their own zone for the middle 10 minutes, and it cost them on the scoreboard.
It's simple, just like that. So, again, go get your favorite beverage. Come on back for third period action here from the U19 Men's Floorball World Qualifier. Welcome back here to third period action. And after a hard second period, Coach Trent, what do you tell your fellas here?
Well, first of all, you've got to start out this 4v4 with possession for as much of it as you possibly can. 4v4 opens up a lot of the pitch, but then if you are unable to score in the 4v4, or even if you're able to, you've got to be mindful of the power play that's coming up for Canada in 35 seconds because of the double minor that was assessed to Owen Dumbledinger. I think if you can do those two things successfully, you begin to get momentum for the rest of the period. Small bites of the elephant, as they say.
A quick wrap around by Perrin, and Walker was there waiting for him to thwart that. 4-on-4 still for another 10 seconds, and Drabala with a shot just wide. Perrin drops it back to the point. Perrin receives it back, looking around. Time winding down to 4-on-4. Look out here, might see the guy coming out of the box. Kelde set to return. He does return, and now Canada on the power play for the next minute, 50 seconds left. Quick spot, quick hit. Played all the way down, not a bad idea but from Ollie, but he unfortunately shot it at his own bench, and Canada will get a spot and a free hit from there, and that's not what he actually wanted. And now the ref is signaling, no, we're just going to went out of bounds actually just above the mid-court. Batani playing catch with Huther. It looks like there's a quick shot, and Bourget just did get a stick on that, parked out by the side of Tan. Bourget up top. Huther again. Batani, Huther. Batani looking for a one-timer. He shoots that just wide. Almost took Trident's head off with that shot. Still, Canada resumes possession of the ball. Back out to Huther. There's a quick shot. There's a rebound. Tan scoops that up. It controls that and drops it off quickly. Trident being pressed by two Canadians. He's pressed it to the corner. Double team there. Canada digs it out. Bourdager does. He's in behind that. He pulls up. Bourdager back over to McQueen. McQueen over to Batani. Batani finds Huther. Batani, Huther. 56 seconds to go in the power play. Canada throwing it around a little bit, trying to find the open person. There it is for the one-timer, and that's deflected up and out of play.
Huther, we know from last night, such a good trigger, and as a result, the Americans really have to press in on opportunities like this, for example, because they are playing the traditional box for right now on the penalty kill.
Nice block in front there defensively by Trident. Shoveled out front. Another good defensive play, but bounces Huther at the point. He doesn't shoot. He pulls it down, throws it to Batani. Batani surveys the situation, cut to the middle. Good poke check by Drabala. Couldn't retrieve it. It went to Huther. Huther pulls back up, throws it to Batani. He's taking a look around, survey, hits a couple bodies up front, bounces wide of Tan. Huther with it on the near boards. Huther cross court. Oh, and a big block there, and a goal-scoring chance thwarted, and 12 seconds left in the Canadian power play.
Yeah, Tavi Samala was in great position for that backside shot. I do think it went off of the cage. That's what the near side official said, and as a result, it'll be Americans' free hit, and they're going to sky it down to kill the rest of this penalty.
That was something else, and it missed everything, but here comes a Canadian attack quickly. Engel finds himself with it. He tried to shovel it out, but it hit off the Canadian player and bounced out of play, and both teams now at full strength. A big penalty kill for the Americans.
And that was fortuitous for the Americans that the free hit took place at the same time the penalty had expired, so it allowed Dummeldinger to get to the bench, but the Americans now 5v5, still got to score at least one goal. You'd like to see that come in the next couple of minutes if you're a fan of the USA. Again, as we mentioned, small bites of the elephant to get back in this one, but it starts with goal number one.
For sure, and Canada with possession, nice defensive play there. Americans trying to get an attack. Grum there got stripped of that, and the Canadians will start over. Up through center, up through the wing. McDonald with it. McDonald shovels it out front, misses everybody to the far side. Still pinched in on tight. Engel finds himself now with a couple Canadians. Hovering him there, he's still doing puck battle there. It bounces to the side, and that Tan decides he's going to grab it. Had enough, looks up court, decides to throw it back to Engel, and the Americans retain possession here.
Iggy Ferry is going to go for a change. I think something hit him in the chin or jaw. I'm not sure if it was just the shoulder of the Canadian player. Incidental contact. I didn't see anything that was malicious, but Ferry has subbed out on this third line, and Chen has hopped on.
I think right now, move the ball forward. Oh, a little too slow with that play developing. Not a bad play to get it up into the Canadian zone. That's what the Americans need to do. Here's Boeheim with it. A nice move to the inside on his backhand. Just couldn't pull the trigger, but he still retains possession of the ball. Beautiful pass to Swazky out front, and oh, that one just missed Chen. He was there. Just beautiful play by the Americans. Pressure there. Boeheim with it. He spins back around. He's looking. Great shift for the young man. Here's a shot up and over, and got to hit the net.
A developing storyline is Coach Derek Mosier for the U.S. team shifting up the lines. That time we got Bainheim, Chen, and Sawatsky out there. So a little bit of the first and second line, and Sawatsky is an additional forward. So just trying to mix and match, get anything going offensively, and that probably should have been a Canadian goal.
Here's some numbers now. Oh, beautiful pass. Sawatsky finds himself back to Perrin, and he may have wanted to take that in a little further. The Canadians quickly come back. Tan bobbles it in the box there. He gets run over and stepped on, but the refs are going to say, listen, it was a bang-bang play, and a spot and a quick hit for the Americans.
So they're going to make sure that Tan is okay here. He's going to give a thumbs up to the official. You know, if you're a goalie, you have command of that area, but also if it's in the outer box that you see on the screen, you're just another player. Players can run into you as long as it's incidental. I don't think there was anything malicious there once again, but Tan, it never feels good when you get run into with a player's knee or stepped on.
But they're Canadians. Everything's intentional.
I think in that case it was a matter of a 16-year-old being unable to stop on a dime.
Up through center, the Americans, a nice stutter step there, but poke checked. And up back, even man rush. Nice play by Triton there. Here's Parent there. Long Lakey's with some speed. Parent muscled himself behind the net, a back pass, but nobody was there to receive it. Either takes a look around, he pulls it back, then he gets to the center. A shot, bullies his way through. That bounces to Huther in behind the net. He's looking around. 13:40 here, left to go in the third period. United States desperately need to get some puck possession down in the Canadian zone.
As this game goes on, the Canadians have realize that possession is very precious, and they've been holding until they get the shot that they like. Part of this is because, and they're able to do so, because they are so good on the ball. Very seldom losing the ball, mispassing. Every pass is to the forehand in this game. When you talk about execution, and that's such a big word in the floorball community, execution, the Canadians have had that tonight.
USA desperately again trying to get out of zone. Not a bad play just to clear it. Either surveys, he's able to walk up center, finds Berdage, who hit Engel up out of play. He'll spot it to the right of the netminder. Hey, here's a quick shot, and somebody lost Chambers there on their assignment. He was able to get away, but Tam was down in the spot. Here comes some numbers for the Americans. They ran into the center there and just could not pull the trigger, and Huther for the Canadians took it away.
I like Harrison Tan's choice to begin to throw it and throw it a little bit more aggressively. The Americans have had such an issue getting through the middle third. If you can do that with the throw, it's ideal, honestly.
Yeah, very good point, Coach. 12:32, a nice move, spin there, shot and a score. Nice spin move. And Batani, up from his defensive position, found the corner, and goal number 7 for the Canadians.
Bataini didn't score last night, but he ripped off a number of shots that told me he was capable of doing exactly that. Honestly, not a whole lot you can do as a keeper in that situation. It was top corner, and regarding the Canadians, again, they just seem to have a little bit more time on the ball, but also the presence of mind to line their shots up, hit the net with it. That's been crucial, and right now the Canadians, on the IFF count at least, they are doubling up the Americans in terms of shots.
Team USA may want to try to get their defensive core up into the play a little more now. 3-on-2. Canada still bobbling the ball. It goes to the corner. Throw it back out to the point. Time winding down for the Americans in this contest. That shot just wide. Out to the quick center, but Grum found it. Grum taking a look around. He gets poke checked, and that's up and out of play.
So line 3 versus line 3, the matchup, and the Americans got away with not playing the forehand on the Canadian player on the far side. I think that was Cohen Shreve, who had scored a goal earlier. They played the backhand side on Cohen Shreve instead of the forehand. That allowed him to rip a shot towards the net.
Score, Addington. Just as you mentioned that, put it on net, bounce right to Addington. He finds the back of the net again, and he's been on a little hot streak the last couple games.
I would love to talk about this goal, but the first thing I'm going to talk about, there's a concept in floorball called fair floorball, the idea of being sportsmanlike at all times. Nunu Addington scored that goal, but he ripped through the stick of Thomas Lancaster as he did so. Broke the stick in half with the follow-through. It's legal. It's all good there. No missed call or anything like that. He went to Lancaster after scoring the goal to make sure he was okay before celebrating with his team. That's fair floorball. A good exemplary job by Nunu Addington of getting to the net, though, and converting on that rebound. Once again, Grum and Addington matching up for a goal. They did that one night ago. The two Chicago residents managed to get on the board for the second night in this series.
And again, that line 3 for the Americans has been a bright point both these contests yesterday and today. There's Derbala with a shot across crease, missed everybody. Nice play off the boards there for the Canadians up through the middle and just pulled it a little too far for him. Wolf is trying to gather it. The Canadian captain is. Here's the captain for America, and he gets poked. Check, Perrant does. Bounces to the center, and Tan has to be sharp with that. 11 minutes to go here in the third period. Back to the point. Spidell with it. Spidell looking around. Here's a shot that hits everybody in the front, but it bounces back to him. He clears it in the corner. He races in after Trident, who has to be careful. He gives it up there, and there's a whistle on the play, and there's an interference call or illegal positioning, and Americans now with the ball.
Yeah, you can't obstruct someone's path to the ball, so basically you see that called a lot when you have a pick of any sort or a moving pick. That's not legal in floorball. Just kind of like interference would be illegal in hockey.
And some of the Americans trying to get a change as that ball went up and out of play off the Canadian player. And again, 22-13 shots on net. Some bright spots for the Americans with their third line, and they find themselves now with possession of the ball. Hopefully they can keep a little bit more. Oh, they, just as I was going to say that, they do regain possession. Parent hits a Canadian player's leg. Betts with it now. Perrant hustling. Beats Calday. Look out. Players converge in there, and Bertrand didn't see the player coming over his back. A quick spot by the Canadian players, and the ref blows it down now and says maybe that was too quick of a spot. Nobody was set, and it allows both teams now to get some changes, especially Americans much needed changes on this play.
Yeah, we saw the same thing happen in the first period, and Canada now will have an opportunity for an offensive free hit. They roll their second line out once again. Line 2 versus effectively line 2 for the Americans, even though there's been some changes with Chen slipping in on this line.
Look out here as Batani cuts to center. Nice play over his back, but it bounced. Another good defensive play by Engel. Spins it off the boards, takes a Canadian bounce, but again, Huther poke check his man. There's a shot up and over Tan and out of play. It's deflected, and Canadians will retain possession in the spot.
I want to give a shout out to Carl Zepvolgi on that particular play. It could have been 8-2, but for his block, and that time unable to block the shot coming from Badaini. Once again, no American forward stepping out. Badaini had plenty of time. Harrison Tan had to deal with 3 bodies in front. No way he's seeing that.
And those pinpoint shots, Batani again just seems to be finding those corners, stepping in from his defensive position. And I don't know if that is missing the positioning or just the play of Batani, a combination of both. But regardless, here's a giveaway. Grum, nice toe drag move. Here's a shot just deflected wide of Walker. Still Ferry harassing his player in the corner there. Up and out of play, and Canadians retain possession.
And again, this is the line matchup that the Americans have been winning tonight. Of the 3 line matchups that we've seen, line 3 versus line 3, the Americans have been out on the front foot, have been able to create offensive opportunities, and the last time these 2 lines matched up, the Americans scored.
Drummeldinger joining the play now his hustle. He's trying to find something to do. He shovels it to the net. It goes back in behind. Here's Addington with the ball. Addington, he pulls it down, a shot, and Walker had to be tough on that. Dumbledinger beats his man to the ball, forces a turnover. Grum pushes it to the front of the net, but Walker sticks out the mitts, pulls it down, and hands it off to his teammate with 9:05 here left to go in the final stanza. Canada up by a few. Kept in. Addington finds himself just in between players as one went to change, and Ferry finds himself with the ball still. Iggy with the shot on that. That was easy to handle for Walker, and he was looking to throw it down. A couple pump fakes and decides better, puts a shovel to the corner. Grum still doing some good forechecking there. Ferry in to join him. 3 players now for the Americans. Help them out. They got to dig it out here. It's important. You got to dig it out here. Keep going. And finally, a whistle. And Canada is going to retain possession on that. And I don't know. I would have let I don't want to harp on Russ, but he could have let him play it. I mean, you got 3, some hustle in the corner. Put the whistle down. I'm sorry. I got just really.
I want to point out, though, lost in everything in part because of how the Canadians have played in this game and the lopsided shot total and the possession amounts as this shot goes well wide. We haven't talked a lot about Chris Walker over the last couple of periods, so he's had to stay sharp. He hasn't faced a lot of shots, and one of the things that you can do as a keeper when you stay sharp is when you get a loose ball, you can do the pump fakes, you can step out to the edge of your goalkeeper area, and that keeps you engaged in the game. He is very much a by-the-book goalkeeper. It seems like he's been a sponge as far as learning the position, and I want to give him his flowers because he's been excellent over the last couple of periods. Even though he hasn't had a lot to do, he's been highly involved in the game.
Yeah, for certain, to your point, absolutely. Svoboda looking around for Team Canada. Calday, shot, scores! Betts.
Betts had a couple of third-period goals last night and rifles one into the far corner again. It just evaded the foot of Harrison Tan. Again, a late reaction from Tan, in part because I think he was screened. There were a couple of American players in front, one of which might have gotten in his line of sight. But also, those low shots are so difficult for a goalkeeper to face. And Betts was wise to put it just about a foot off of the ground. We always say in floorball that is a prime scoring area of the net. In other sports, you might think, oh, top corner goals are what you want. Well, in floorball, if you miss the top corner, it goes out of bounds. It's a turnover, essentially. So you want to keep the shots low, but also that is nearly an impossible shot for a goalkeeper to stop right above the foot, and that's approximately where that ball went in on Tan. So credit given to Nate Betts, who's shown up late in each of the last couple of games with a goal. That's his 3rd goal of this qualifier.
You know, and to your point, Coach, they've been pinpoint shots. It's not like there's been, garbage. It's been, just some really, really good position shots by the Canadian team thus far.
And part of that is because they've had time to shoot. What a save.
Beautiful stop there to keep himself in the game by Harrison Tan. Staying mentally sharp still. The game is not over. Still 7 minutes and 5 seconds here. And it's easy to give up mentally here. But especially the team in front of them has to realize, listen, we can learn from this. And there's some time here on the clock. We got to keep playing. We got to keep our energy up. Let's not give these guys any more here.
And it's all a learning experience. The vast majority of these Americans will be around for the next cycle with a qualifier to be played next year. So they are a younger team than the Canadians. And if you are an American player, it's good to say to yourself, hey, over the next game plus 6:47, because there's a game here at 2 p.m. tomorrow at the Blackhawks Ice Center. We invite everyone to come out. It's free to attend. But the point being, you've got a lot to learn. Let's see if we can learn something, step forward, put our best foot forward next year in the next qualifier against the Canadians.
These teams, as Coach Trent mentioned, they're facing each other again tomorrow, so tried to finish off strong. The Americans want to do it going into tomorrow's game. Walker drops it in behind the net to his teammate up. Aaron bounced off the boards, but McDonald and chases it down. Tri-bomb, they're pushing into the corner there. Both players converge on it, and Americans will get a free spot here, a free hit.
Easy call for that official. So Foss McDonald got in there, got physical, which you're allowed to do. What you are not allowed to do is extend that arm that you have on the back of your opponent's back. Once he did that, it was an advantage called, and then once it became clear there was no advantage, easy whistle.
Dumbledinger drops it in deep. They were thinking about pulling Harrison Tan for a moment for the extra attacker, decided not to. And here comes the Canadians with some numbers, but they couldn't put anything together. That's knocked away to the far boards. Battles converging there. Nice play up to Dumbledinger. Addington there. He scoops it away. Addington coming down. He fakes the backhand pass. Or gets it up to the middle. Grum just couldn't get the handle on that. And here comes the Canadians back. Even 2-on-2. Play over to MacDonald. MacDonald spins around. Heads him behind the net. MacDonald looking for a little flipper there. Grum trying to knock the bouncing ball down. He's converged on by a couple Canadian players. Grum, nice job to put his body in position. Rides the top of the wall, but comes down in favor finally for the Americans. 5:10 left to go here in this contest. Canada up by a few. Americans looking for something to build some positive energy on going into tomorrow's match. Triton surveying the situation. Tan pulled for the extra attacker. Stone. Triton. Stone looking to the net. Decides better. Swatsky with it. He's converged. I might hit Stone's foot or maybe hit the Canadian defender, and they're going to rule it is still the Americans' ball. Swatsky, Triton. Again, the Americans with the extra attacker on for 4:40 here left here to go in the third final stanza. Swatsky to Triton. Triton taking a look. He decides to shot. It gets blocked. He puts it toward the front. Parent racing wins the battle there. Parent, nice pull. Oh, it almost got it over, but nice play by the Canadian defender, and he'll just shovel it down to the American zone.
So in floorball, unlike with ice hockey, one thing that's common is offense-defense subs when you're down for the goalkeeper. So you're going to see Tan run back and forth a lot in the next 4:13.
Oh, and that just missed the open netminder. Tan decides to get back in there. He does, but too late, and Calday there and just puts it in the top shelf out stretch of Tan, and there's a penalty on the play here against Canada, and this could nullify that goal, or maybe it was after the goal. I'm not quite sure here. We'll wait and find out. Coach, did you see anything different there?
Yeah, it's a celebration penalty. And for the Americans, honestly, whether Tan's in net for that or not, the Canadians once again clogging up the middle third of the pitch. And that's where the Americans have had such a hard time with. The Americans also, that was a little bit of a sloppy change as far as for the goalkeeper. There was one time, at one point in time, it's 7 players, no goalkeeper, then 6 players and a goalkeeper. The Canadians end up scoring in any case, but a celebration penalty of some sort has been assessed against the Canadians, and Ethan Wolf is in the box alongside Arlo Kelde. Usually this is a sign that they have given one player a 10-minute penalty, and then the other player is serving a 2-minute penalty in the box for that other player.
So the celebration for Team Canada will put America on a power play, and now they get to work with it as Tan goes to the bench, and they go 6-on-4. Now the Americans have the advantage. Triton, the Swatsky, that's knocked away by Bordage out of play, and they say it hit off Swatsky before it went out of play. Clear to the far side by Huther. Short-handed, he gets poke checked. Nice play by Boheim. Will fire it on Walker, trying to follow up his rebound. Couldn't get there. Swatsky races to keep possession of the ball. Triton now with it. Over on the far to Boheim. He tried a quick shot there, sweep shot to hit off Huther, bounced out of play. 3:30 left to go in the stanza. 1:30 left on the American power play. Back to Parent. Parent looking around. Durbala. Durbala with the shot over Walker. Questionable read there, and Canadians now get possession.
And again, a lot of times with nerves, with game situation, you see those shots sail high and wide. That time, Durbala had time. We talked about the Canadians closing down time and space, forcing some of those wide shots. That time he had time, but again, a number of circumstances can cause those shots to sail high and wide, and Betts gets his second of the period.
And just like that, they have had to put Tan back in the net. The ball came out front, hit off Tan, and Betts on the spot tips it back to outreach goalie, the outstretched goalie, and another goal by Canada. And it seems that that third period, that the middle late third period in both these contests, the floodgates seem to open for Team America.
Well, the United States needs another player, I think, on the floor right now. I don't think they've realized. Now Owen Dumbledore comes out. I'm going to be a goalie advocate here for a second. In floorball, very, very difficult to stop a rebound shot under any circumstances. You need your D to help out. Tan stopped the first shot, the rebound is there, and as a goalie, you're prone, you're trying to stop the second shot. You need your defense to come up with a clear. And in this particular game, there hasn't been a ton of that for the Americans. There have been a lot of second chance opportunities for the Canadians when Tan hasn't grabbed the first shot.
And Ferry went a little aggressively into the corner, bounced the Canadian player. Svoboda out of the pitch, and Canadian retains possession. There's a quick play to the corner, deep in the American zone. Dumbledore gets there over the Grum. Grum on the wall to Stone. Grum forcing Svoboda to curl back, who does in behind his own net, makes a move to come out front, still has possession, pulls up, spins around, killing some more off their penalty kill. Nice play by Spidell, back to Svoboda. Svoboda gets dumped there, and there's going to be a infraction there as Dumbledore, not on purpose, but just outreached and got a stick entangled in Svoboda's legs, and he goes to the box.
And the two of them just exchanged, hey, are you okay? Didn't mean to do that. But Svoboda was coming in with a ton of speed, and here when you're on foot, a stick gets between the legs, it's very easy to trip, go flying. It's good to see that Svoboda was unhurt there, that he was okay, and Dumbledore heads to the box. That'll even things up at 4-on-4.
Well, you know what the most common used phrase in hockey? Sorry about that.
Oops.
And now both teams 4-on-4 for another 15 seconds before the Canadians go on a power play. 4-on-4 here.
And interesting, the Americans are in their box play formation despite the fact that it is 4-on-4, just anticipating that penalty kill coming up. And now Wolf will come out of the box and make it a 5-on-4 power play. Wolf's actually going to go to the bench. They're going to try and get some of their third-line players a little bit of power play experiences, as you do sometimes when the score is 11-2.
You mentioned the score. I didn't for the last 5 minutes.
11-2 with 1:40 left in the third period, in fact.
Yeah, right. Canada down deep. Wouldn't mind putting another one in. McDonald looks around and just missed that corner. Tan might have got a piece of that. McDonald finds himself with the ball again. A quick shot by Garrigan and didn't get all of that, and it's out of play. The Americans with possession here with a minute 20 to go in the third stanza. Still shorthanded, got to be careful here. Spins away from one. Somala, look out here to try, and he just misplayed it. He's got Canadian on his back, got to be careful again. Dumps it in deep. Parent still digging. Using his body, good possession. Bounces out to the Canadian player, and they start out. Pass to McDonald, he pulls up. McDonald looking around. Cross court. Here's a shot. That's wide. McDonald retrieves it down low. McDonald coming out of the corner. He goes in behind the American net. He's looking forward. Still looking with it. Time winding down in the power play. 15 seconds left. McDonald with the ball. Nice cross pass. Oh, Tan. Beautiful stop there. Hit off his arm. He looked behind him, but still made the save. And there's a blocking penalty, a obstruction call, and Americans will get a spot here and a free hit with 20 seconds time winding down this game. Parent says, you know what, I'm going to go for one more walk. They dig it down deep, trying to get one more. Spin out front, still has possession. Here it is. Here's a shot. He just couldn't get enough on that, and the Canada chance started. Technically, they are the home team today, and they are starting. The Canadian flag start to show up more. Team Canada starts to celebrate now, and that'll be it. Team Canada with the win in Game 2 of the 3-game series here from the Blackhawk Ice Center, presented by Fifth Third Bank.
And what that does, Canada wins the series, and they will be going to the U19 World Championships in Riga, Latvia. So congratulations to Team Canada.
And from all of us here, from the men's U19 World Floorball Qualifier, I'm Tommy Morris. For Coach Trent Kling, Michael Livingstone, and the rest of the staff here, we welcome you to come back in and tune in tomorrow at 2 p.m. for our live broadcast here from Blackhawks Ice Center, presented by Fifth Third Bank.